In this video, we're going to show you how to place property lines on your page. Now, we have a couple different tools that we're going to use here. We can use the Draw Property Line tool, or we can use the Property Line Wizard. Okay, first what we can do is we need to first set the page size that we're working with here. Now, currently the page size is set at an architectural D size 24 by 36 inch, which is a little bit big for what I want to do here. I'm going to go ahead and select the drop down here and select the letter size 8.5 by 11. Currently it's set at a 1/8 inch scale. I'm going to change the scale here to a 1/16 inch. Okay, and you'll see when I do that I have a lot more area to work with here. Now, the Property Line tool can be found on the EasyScape toolbar here at the top, located here. You'll also find the same tool up on the Draw menu, located here. Okay, so I'll select the EasyScape Property Line tool. Now you'll notice here that I get a Crosshair Cursor. Now this is telling me that I'm ready to select the first point of my property line. I'm going to do a left click, and then I'm going to move, and I'm going to go to the second point. You'll see that I have an indicator there to tell me how far I've moved from the previous click point, along with the direction that I've moved. So I'll go ahead and find my point and click there, and then I'll move down and click, and I'll move over and I'll click again, and I'll go up to where I started and I'll click there. Now, if I want to release that from my cursor, I do a right click. You'll notice here that my cursor is still a Crosshair Cursor, and that's because I have not released the Property Line tool from my cursor. So if I wanted to continue on with another property line, I could do that. But if I want to release that tool completely from my cursor, I do either a right click or I hit the escape key on my keyboard. So I'll go ahead and do a right click here, and that releases that from my cursor. Okay? Now, that's the manual method to drawing in property lines. Now let's go ahead and show you how to use the Property Line Wizard. I'll go to the File menu and select New, and from the Startup menu I'll select Place Property Lines and click OK. Alright, now I can put in a starting coordinate. This is an optional coordinate on the grid. I can put an XY coordinate here. Okay, the distance that I want to make for the first line, I'm going to put that in at 140 feet. Okay, and the angle, I can either put directions such as north, south, east, and west by typing the first character of the direction, or I can put in an exact angle. In this case, what I want to do is I want to put in an angle. Now, if I put in 0 is 0 degrees is a line that's moving from left to right. If I put in 90, that will be 90 degrees, so I'll have a line going straight up. If I put in 180, that's going to be a line moving straight to the left. And if I put in 270, that's a line moving straight down. So I'll click here and I'll enter coordinate, and you'll see it starts to draw a line from left to right. Okay, my next measurement is going to be 120 feet. Now this time I want to move straight up, so I'll type in 90 for 90 degrees and click enter coordinate. Okay, and again the distance on this next line is going to be again 140 feet. Okay, and this time I want to go straight to the left, so I'm going to put in 180 for 180 degrees and click enter coordinate, and you'll see it starts to take shape there. Now when I'm done, all I do is come down and I click on the finish button, and that will apply that property line to my page. Okay, now one other thing to note here is if you want to add an arc to the property line, what you can do is you can double click on the property line, and that gets into what we call the edit vertice mode. Now you'll notice that when I mouse over this line, I can click on the line and then pull it up a little bit, and it adds a point to that line. If I want to delete a point, I just select the point so that it turns red and then press delete on my keyboard. Okay, now if I was wanting to add an arc in between these lines, like it was maybe a property sitting on a cul-de-sac or a curved street, what we could do is we could hold down on the control key on the keyboard, and then when we click on that line and then pull that line up, you'll see that it starts to arc that line with a nice smooth arc. So I'll get it to the proper arc that I want here and release it. I'll do a right click and that releases that from my cursor. Alright, so this is the using the property line wizard when drawing in property lines, and the first method was the manual method to draw in property lines. Okay, next we'll go ahead and show you how to do foundation walls.